What's good, everybody? Khunshawn here. It's my new intro. Let me know if you like it. If you don't, well, it's here to stay. Anyways, I'm gonna give you guys a dark story today about how I wanted to self-delete. Now, I wanted to self-delete maybe like legitimately like maybe 4 times, right? So I can't really remember a lot of those stories because a lot of them actually happened when I was younger, right? But this was during my military career. I'm not going to go into like super crazy detail and I'm not going to say anybody's names, but I'm basically going to, you know, tell you how it happened, how I felt during that point in time, and how I eventually moved past it and the effects that it still has on me today because, obviously it still has an effect because I wouldn't be making this video if I moved on about it. But I figured, maybe a story like this could help some people because I'm going to go out on a limb and say like 80% of people in life generally have like at least one time where they're like, man, I'm done, right? But obviously seek help if you're having those issues currently. I hope it gets better. But yeah, here is the story. So it all started off back in 2018. No, it was 2019. So I'm going to give you like a brief synopsis. In 2018, when I was in the military, the way that the leadership works, you get like a sergeant first class that guy is in control of like your whole group, and then you guys have like a staff sergeant, like four staff sergeants below him, and then it'll break down like to lower and lower, and like the lower the rank is, the more of those people there usually are. Anyways, so we had a staff sergeant, and like when we have a staff sergeant or sergeant first class, when we have a sergeant first class, we call them smoke, right? So we had this guy that was our smoke, and like this is me joining like the real army, because like of course you got basic training and then AIT. Those aren't the real army. The real army is when you get to your first duty station. So the smoke that we had at the time, he was an interesting person, right? He when I say interesting, think like maybe like either mid 30s or early 40s, white dude who's been in the military a long time. And obviously like he's not racist, but he has no issues with like racial jokes or anything like that. It never really upset me, but it was one of those like, man, this guy is weird, like right? But he was a decent guy. He was cool. I will say he was cool, right? So every Friday, we have PT in the military every day, Monday through Friday. But Friday was always like a fun Friday. So for PT, we would play flag football, right? Obviously, it's still physical training because it's football. You're running around, jumping, catching the ball, yada, yada, right? And we all like this guy. He's cool. He's a bit strange, but he's pretty chill compared to other people. And it turns out like when he was gonna get, he was going to senior leadership course, right? SLC, so he can get more rank because he's been in the military for like 12 plus years. So it's time for him to get some more rank. And it turned out like he did something he shouldn't have done to somebody. And look, I wasn't there. These are obviously rumors through the grapevine, so I'm not gonna sit here and just say what people told me what happened, because I wasn't there and I don't know. But it involves somebody of the opposite gender, and either something was said, and I don't know. So fast forward, he ended up getting in trouble, obviously. So he got demoted in rank. So we ended up getting a new smoke, right? And this smoke, he was more of a tougher guy. He was a hard ass. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. He was very strict, very tough. And it's like, he was strict, and he thought if if we thought he was soft or he was getting soft or whatever, because not everybody's rude, or not everybody's mean 24/7, right? There's some times where like it's a good day and maybe, hey, we'll get off work a little bit earlier, blase blase. But this guy, man, like, it's like I messed up a couple times. I want to say I messed up like twice, and by the time I messed up the second time, like he had it out for me, man. Like at least that's how it felt. And it's like as many times as I tried to talk to this guy one on one, and as much as he tried to give me advice and stuff like that, it's like whenever other people were around, it was like I was the target. At least that's how I felt, honestly. Um, Anyways, fast forward, we go to Korea, right? And I've already talked about how Korea, we all live in like the same barracks building. So it's just one big ass building. And like everybody lives together and stuff like that. So like you basically don't really get free time to yourself. Like you have a roommate and you guys share one room. So it's like, it's stressful. It's not, crazy or anything like that, but it's just like super stressful to not have your personal space. So like, this guy, he honestly, I just felt like he just was singling me out like 24/7. And like I'm not gonna say I was like the perfect soldier by any means. Like I would mess up, legitimately I would mess up, or I would do things that I know would benefit me. So I would do things that other people would consider not normal or disrespectful or whatever, right? They would take it like, and of course I don't mean to, step on anybody's toes, but like the person I am, I like to look out for myself and, try and put myself in a better position for, whatever, just life in general, right? So like, perfect example was the BOSS program. So people don't know what BOSS is. It's basic opportunities for single soldiers. And I was an advocate for that. So instead of people staying on base or just going out to the bill to get drunk, and that's literally like all they do during their service is fight or get drunk, I basically would go to these meetings with higher ups and they would say, hey, we have a program to take soldiers out to go skiing to the mountain or go snowboarding or go shopping in the financial district of Korea. Anyways, it was basically a way for me to get out from everybody around me and like go and see more of the base and interact with more people and interact with the civilians on base and stuff like that. So I'm the boss, I'm like the boss representative. And even though a lot of the times the boss representative would be someone that's a sergeant at the time, I wasn't a sergeant. I believe I was PFC when I first started becoming a boss representative, or maybe a specialist. But anyways, I would always try and, do more of the boss related stuff because I always felt like that was more for me to like increase morale and stuff like that. But obviously doing that, if I'm out there, trying to, get, people signed up for skiing and stuff like that, then obviously I'm not on the gun line doing checks and maintenance and the day-to-day normal stuff that you would do in your unit. I basically wasn't there because I was out doing like basically extra activity. Granted, these extra activities were created because soldier suicide and soldier fighting and drinking and DUI, a lot of that stuff will happen to younger soldiers because there was literally nothing else for them to do besides get drunk and fight. So that's when they created this the program exists for a reason, right? Like everything exists for a reason. It's not like a bullshit program. Granted, a lot of people look at it that way because fucking, if it doesn't involve killing or something like that, then it's useless for some people. So obviously, like if I'm late to like formation and stuff like that because I had to take a bus and stuff like that, so obviously like put a target on me, like, yeah, why isn't he ever around? Whenever something needs to be done, why am I never around? It's like I'm never around because I put myself in a position to not be around that because it's just not something I enjoy. Granted, I know what I signed up for with my contract. You know what? I'm going to take that back. I didn't know what I was signing up for with my contract, right? Because they tell you everything. They tell you what they want you to hear, or they give you like a glimpse of your job. So like it'll say, oh, my job is 13 Juliet, right? So, 13 Juliet, your job is the box operator, blah, blah, blah. You work on the box. But in reality, since, the senior specialist would be the one on the box, what do you end up doing? Something else, right? Anyways, so I was always trying to move myself up to do other things or just fill my time while I wait to change my contract or just wait to get out or whatever. And obviously this guy didn't like it. It's like during PT, I'm not a PT stud, but I am good enough in PT, right? I'm decent, right? I'm honestly probably above average. And it's like during PT, I would try and boost morale, let's go, let's keep going, blah, blah, blah. And of course, not everybody can keep going. Everybody's built differently and stuff like that. But it's like, I would get ostracized in PT. It's like they have their little cliques, and like my group, the FDC, it's like we got to do our thing in the gun line, because it's FDC is one group, right? A group of like what, 5 people, 6 people, and then like you have the rest of the gun line. It's like 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 different people, right? So they got their group, and then you got FDC with like 6 people. So obviously I'm like, when it comes to ostracization, I'm already ostracized because I'm in FDC, and then I'm ostracized even more because I'm not even really around FDC. Whenever they want to like delegate some bullshit job, they make FDC do it, and then it's like, okay, where is he at? Because he never does any of the bullshit jobs, and it's like, it is what it is. Anyways, fast forward during that time in Korea, I was not feeling great mentally. I felt trapped because, you're stuck around everybody, and it's like I couldn't really free my mind. Like my mental space was just not good, right? And so I went to behavioral health. Behavioral health, I've already talked about, it's like therapy. And when I went to therapy, that basically like put me on a list, like, oh, you got to watch for this guy, blase, blase. And it's like, you're not making me feel better. You feel me? Like I'm already feeling some type of way. And so for you to pick on me about it does not make me feel any better, right? And it got to the point, like I pretty much came up with a plan to end it all, right? So, I told my chief, and I was like, yo, chief, like, because me and my chief would butt heads at times, but it was nothing that would, like, at the end of the day, like, that's still my chief. Like, if I ever have any issues, I would go to that man right there, and I'd be like, hey, chief, this is how I'm feeling, this and this. And I told my chief, I was like, straight up, I was like, chief, I don't want to be here no more. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't want to live no more. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, trying to tell him, I'm like, how can I sit here and explain that I feel like my life is not mine? And I couldn't really like put it into words, right? It's like, instead of explaining it, bro, like, chief, I'm gonna let you know, I'm gonna leave post, and I'm gonna, cause like it's the train station right there, and it's like 2 stories. So I was like, I'm gonna climb up the 2-story thing, and I'm gonna fucking jump off and splat. Like that, like basically the only way I can convey it, the way I could convey my emotion is like, I'm going to die. Point blank, period. Right? And of course, he's trying to talk me down, blase, blase. And then like Smoke, my chief has to tell the Smoke, because the Smoke is in charge, right? Before like you tell like the commander or anything, it's like it got to go through the Smoke. So he tells the Smoke, and then the Smoke gives me a prep talk, like, I wanted to be, die too, and blase, blase. And like we chopping it up, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just letting you know, like, I feel like you attacked me, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm letting them know, like, I feel like me and you, I get it. You might not like me, but I don't like how you always, like, it feels like you target me, right? Out of everybody that is doing something wrong, it's like me, right? Whatever. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna try and be more lenient, yada, yada, blase, blase. Anyways, fast forward. Y'all already know the breakup story. So the breakup happens, and I end up going back to Fort Bliss in El Paso. And I'm like, okay, maybe things are going to get better. And like, everybody starts coming back, and we're going back to work. And it's like, I feel a bit better, I guess. And also by that time that happens, I start taking medication. So I'm on, what's it called? I can't remember. There's this medicine. I can't remember what it's called. It's not Zoloft, but it's something that's like Zoloft. Like you slowly, like you take it every day, and it just like slowly, feeds you like, I guess, dopamine or something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but basically I was taking that. So like my mind was changing, but it was actually helping. Like the medication was helping me legitimately. I felt better in the sense that whenever something bad did happen, I just shrugged it off and I got it done. Like usually it'd be like, damn, like a boost, like it would demoralize me if I had to like stay late to do something, it's like, but that medication legitimately had me like, okay, I'll do it. Okay, that's fine. And like, all I was doing was like, just, I felt essentially like a robot, but I rather feel like a robot than feel how I felt, right? And the medicine only does so much, right? It can only do so much in stressful situations. So like, and I remember this shit vividly, bro. I had a mental breakdown, right? So we're doing PT, just normal PT. We're all in a circle doing push-ups or something like that. And everybody's talking, blah, blah, blah. And I talked to a friend of mine. I can't remember who, and I can't remember what I said, but I was like whispering. And then like the smoke, he was like, shut the fuck up. And like, he said my name. And like everybody else was like, yeah, shut the fuck up. Like basically they dogpiled me. And it's like, how can you sit here and call me out when the other soldiers are doing worse than I am, right? They're being louder than I am, right? Because during PT it's supposed to be serious, right? It's like, oh, we're doing PT, we gotta do push-ups, blah, 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 right? We gotta be tough. Stop talking, just do the workout, blah, 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 right? But you let these other people get away with something, and then when I have something to say, you target me. And that legitimately, because it's like multiple things went on in my brain. It's like, I swear to you, when I tell you, like, I was so upset, it's like immediately anger, and then immediately sadness, and like immediately at the same time, it felt like the right side of my brain, which was like clear, like the left side of my brain was like full of just like all these emotions, and it felt like the right side of my brain was trying to like tug at my left side to calm me down. I swear to you, I can't, that's like the only way I can explain it. It's like immediately I broke. I was just like, because there's so many emotions. It's like, you telling me to shut the fuck up, but you've been talking during PT the whole time. You the smoke telling me to shut the fuck up, but you don't tell them to shut the fuck up when they've been talking the whole time. You fucking laughing, and you supposed to be my boy. All y'all motherfuckers are against me right now. All of you. And that immediately, like, I had an out-of-body experience. I was like my soul fucking left, bro. I swear to you, like, my soul left. I was like, bro, I am so fucking done. Like, I'm legit. I am, like, when I tell you guys I was gonna, bro, I'm telling y'all, I'm not gonna say it on camera, bro, but I was ready to go down to the local store, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, come back on some, yeah, I swear to you, I was like, bro, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I wasting my life here? I might as well take these motherfuckers with me. Like, that's on some serious shit. Like, that's legitimately how I felt. And I got up and I'm like shaking, like I can still feel it now. It's like I'm shaking. And I tell my chief, I'm like, Chief, I gotta go. Like, and this is during PT, right? So obviously me getting up and trying to leave is a no-go. And I'm like, Chief, I gotta go. Like, Chief, you gotta come with me. Cause I know if I leave by myself, something bad is gonna happen in my career. And I'm like, Chief. And he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, Chief. And I'm like walking away and I'm shaking. I'm starting to, like, that door is knocking like, hey, take them out. Fuck it. Who cares? Nobody cares about you here. It's knocking because I've been had issues and they know I have issues, right? And the smoke sit here and he talked to me one-on-fucking-one multiple times. So he knows I have issues. Yet he's going to sit here and still come at me. Why? I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is. And at the end of the day, if I was to see him today, it'd just be water under the bridge. Because I moved on. But back then, that time, it was just so fucking dark, bro. Anyways, I walked away with my chief. He's like, are you all right? How you feel? And I'm shaking, bro. I start to cry and shit. And I'm like, bro, I can't fucking stand it here. I fucking hate it here. Like, I'm not meant to be here. I'm going to fucking die. Like, it was crazy, bro. I'm telling you. When I tell you it was fucking, bro. And then, I believe it was the battery commander and the battery command sergeant major, right? So if you don't know what that means, basically imagine the smoke is down here, I'm down here, and the guy that walked up to me and was talking to me was so high up here you can't even see him on the fucking camera no more. And he walked up to me, he's like, "What's wrong, soldier? How you like what's wrong? Like what's getting you down?" And I'm like, because I know his face, because his face is on the fucking wall of like every building, right? And I'm like, "Ah, shit, Chief, I'm sorry, Chief, I got you in trouble on top of it." And he was like, "Whoa, no, calm down, calm down. Like if you don't want me to get your name, I'm not gonna get your name. I just want to make sure you're okay." And he told me, he was like, I've known of several soldiers that's been in the same position as you. And when I heard that shit, I was like, what the fuck? Like, so obviously this is like this is an issue that's deeper than just one or two or three or four or five people, right? Obviously, if I'm not the only one to just start fucking breaking down in the middle of PT, there's a systemic issue, right? Anyways, I go back to my room. My chief, like, he's like, "Okay, just go to your room like early, like PT was gonna end in like 20 minutes, like 10 or 15 minutes anyway. But he's like, just go to your room, go change. Don't worry about it. Just come back to work at 9. Don't worry about it." And I'm like, all right. I go to my room, bro. I call my ex-wife, and she was my girlfriend at the time. And I called her. I was like, "You're the only reason why I don't, self-delete. You feel me?" I was like, "You're the only reason why I'm alive right now." Blase, blase. Anyway, and I didn't know my roommate. My roommate was in his room at the time, and I was like breaking down in the middle of the kitchen. Like I couldn't even make it to my room. Like I was done, bro. I'm telling you, when I tell you I was done with life, bro, I was so done. And like at that moment, it's like she's like telling me to calm down, don't worry about it. And like she kept me alive. Like no, like real shit. She kept me alive that day. Anyways, and like my roommate, he came out his room and I didn't even know he was there. And I'm like, "Oh shit, like my bad. I didn't mean to wake you up." And it's like I just kept feeling really bad, like just about everything. And like there was even a knock at the door, and like it was just a random soldier. I ain't never seen him before. I guess he was new to the unit, and he like heard me. He was like, "You good?" Like I like you. And like he gave me a hug, and he was like, "Man, I hope you get better. Don't worry about it." Like, and I was like, "Bro, like you don't even know, bro. Like you don't even know." But yeah, and then after that, I ended up having to go to behavioral health, and I told the therapist there, and I was like telling them everything, what happened, and next thing you know, they had me booked for damn, I can't remember it. It was like it's like intense outpatient therapy or some shit. IOP or something like that. I can't remember, but it's basically like a group therapy session, right? And like I eventually met all these other people that were going through the same shit, and it was legitimately like it felt good to see there was more people going through like the same type of issue I was going through, but at the same time it's like, why are there so many people going through this shit? But yeah, eventually, I was getting better. The therapy was helpful. It's like they helped me. You gotta do therapy shit. You gotta draw, or you gotta talk about your feelings and in front of everybody, and then everybody talks about how they feel and shit like that. And at the end of the day, bro, talk about it. Because honestly, like talking about it was probably the one thing that like, it's the one thing that made me feel human. Because of course, when you're in a machine like the military, you're a gear in the machine. You're a tool. Like there's some legitimately good people in there that are trying to help, but it's just a different beast, right? Like when you're training people to kill other people, you know, you don't really have that much room for feelings and emotions. So, you know, it took me a while to be able to come to terms with like that whole situation in life, and like just realizing like what made me really want to like just end it all. And I think the only thing I can think about, like even all these years later, is like the entrapment. Like I felt like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't talk to nobody, at least like in my vicinity, right? Because, you know, your coworkers in the military aren't just your coworkers, right? Like they live with you, they live next to you. So it's like, it's basically, it just felt like I was in a cage. So if you guys got anybody to talk to, you definitely should. If you don't, you need to definitely find someone to talk to about any situations that you're going through. And I think, you know, it's good to talk about it, at least for me, like just now, like even just like, even though it's like, I know I had like so many issues, it's like a lot of it is better. Obviously it's not gone. If it was gone, I'm pretty sure this video wouldn't be 20 fucking minutes long, right? But yeah, I figured just making this would help. If it did help, you're welcome. But yeah, this literally the only reason why I still make videos anyways. It's just like, can my experience help somebody else? You know, hopefully it can. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here before it gets to 30 minutes. Y'all have a good night. Just try and get help. That's like the only advice I could really give, is try and get help. If you can't get it from family, if you can't get it from friends, you can get it from a stranger. You can definitely get it from a stranger. I met a lot of people in my time where I don't even know them, or I just meet them, and it's like I feel like I could share the world with them, because life's tough, bro, and you don't got to go through it alone. But it feels like the whole world is always against you. It's really not. The world's not against you, bro. But yeah, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Y'all have a good day. Good night. Comment, rate, subscribe. Fake the funk. Remember that. If you can't make it, if you feel weak, you fake that shit. You fake it till you make it. You feel me? You fake it till you make it. But yeah, it's definitely, this was a good video for me, at least. It was good for me to reflect on it. Like I said, if I was to meet Smoke, it is what it is. It's like, what can you really do about it, right? Like, it is what it is. You just gotta keep moving forward, man. Just gotta keep moving forward. But it never hurts to take a look at the past. So always take a look, but don't stare at that shit. Don't stare at the past too long. Just like take a glimpse, like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that shit sucked. Yeah, that shit was awesome. And then you just keep going. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe. Peace.